The rain was coming down in sheets the night I finally saw Jason for what he really was. I stood in the kitchen, my hands trembling around the handle of a knife, not because I wanted to hurt him, but because for the first time in 5 years, I was terrified of what he might do to me. His eyes, usually so warm and loving, were black with rage. "You really think you can leave, Emily?" he whispered, stepping closer. "After everything I've done for you? I should have seen it coming. But love, or what I thought was love, has a way of blinding you. This is the story of how I ignored 7 glaring red flags in my marriage, how they nearly broke me, and how I clawed my way back from the edge. And maybe, just maybe, my mistakes can save someone else from the same fate." The first time I met Jason, I wasn't looking for love. I was at a coffee shop, scribbling notes for a work project, when he slid into the seat across from me. "You're way too pretty to be frowning that hard at a laptop," he said, flashing that crooked grin. I rolled my eyes. "And you're way too confident for a stranger." He laughed, deep and warm, and something inside me shifted. Within a week, he knew my favorite flower, peonies, my favorite song, Landslide, by Fleetwood Mac, and the exact way I took my coffee, oat milk, 1 sugar, extra hot. By month 2, he was showing up at my office with lunch, texting me "Good morning beautiful" before my alarm even went off, whispering I've never felt this way about anyone into my hair as we lay in bed. It was intoxicating. But then came the speed. "Move in with me," he said one night, 3 months in, his hands tracing my spine. I hesitated. "Isn't it too soon?" He cupped my face, his thumb brushing my cheek. "When you know, Emily. And I know you're it for me." I moved in the next weekend. At first, it was subtle. "You spend so much time with Sarah," Jason murmured one night, his fingers playing with my hair. "But she's always so negative about us. I just want you surrounded by people who lift you up." I frowned. "She's my best friend." He sighed, pulling me closer. "I know, baby. But friends should want what's best for you, not just what makes them comfortable." A week later, when Sarah made a joke about us moving too fast, I snapped at her. Jason smiled when I told him. "See? You're starting to see it too." Then it was my brother, "He's too critical of us." Then my coworkers, "They don't really care about you." By our first anniversary, my world had shrunk to the size of him. I didn't realize how alone I was until my phone stopped ringing. Sarah's birthday came and went, no text. My brother's wedding invite got lost in the mail. And when I mentioned feeling lonely, Jason just kissed my forehead. "You have me, Emily. Isn't that enough?" The first time I caught him in a lie, he made me doubt myself. I swore I saw him at Luigi's, laughing with a blonde, the same night he was supposed to be at a work dinner. When I asked, he frowned. "Babe, you know I was at Mike's last night." "You're so forgetful lately. Are you stressed?" I knew what I saw. But he seemed so sincere. Maybe I was imagining things. It happened again. And again. Missing money. Mysterious phone calls. His temper flaring, then vanishing like it never happened. "You're too sensitive," he'd sigh. "You're overreacting." By the end, I barely trusted my own memory. The layoff notice came on a Tuesday. I sat frozen at our kitchen island, the paper trembling in my hands, when Jason came home early. Before I could speak, he pulled me into a hug so tight I couldn't breathe. "It's okay, baby," he murmured against my hair. "I'll take care of everything." That night, he opened a joint account. "We're a team now," he said, sliding my debit card across the table. "No more stressing about bills." For 3 months, it was perfect. He handled the mortgage, the groceries, even my student loans. Then the first red flag fluttered, a declined card at Target. Jason sighed when I asked. "Money's tight right now, maybe cut back on the Starbucks." By month 6, I was begging for grocery money. "You've got enough for pasta," he'd say, counting out 20s like I was a child. When I suggested getting a part-time job, his grip on my wrist turned bruising. What, you don't trust me to provide? The final blow came when I found the credit card statements, $28,000 in charges to Atlantic City hotels, a Rolex purchase, lingerie in sizes that weren't mine. Our first fight happened over burnt lasagna. Jason's fork clattered against the plate. You call this edible? I blinked at the blackened edges. I got distracted with. The table flipped. Glass shattered. Marinara sauce dripped down the wall like blood. Then suddenly, he was sobbing at my feet. I'm so sorry, baby. Work's been hell, and I love you so much it hurts sometimes. Mrs. Delaney from 3B started, coincidentally, appearing in the hallway when I wore long sleeves in July. One morning, she shoved a torn envelope into my hand. My niece runs a women's shelter, she whispered before shuffling away. Inside was a phone number smudged with coffee stains. I flushed it down the toilet. The phone buzzed at 2:17 a.m. while Jason showered. Miss you, Jay. Last night was hot. When's round 2? The screen blurred as I scrolled up, months of flirty exchanges, selfies in our bed sent while I was visiting my toxic mother. When I confronted him, Jason laughed. That's just Dave messing around. He's had my old number since college. But that night, I logged into his email. Found the Ashley Madison account. The Tinder notifications. The reservation for 2 at our anniversary restaurant, on a night he'd told me he was hunting with the guys. Lena from accounting cornered me at the office holiday party. I wasn't going to say anything, she hissed, vodka cranberry sloshing over her wrist, but your husband's been hitting on every intern since June. I slapped her. Got written up. Apologized to Jason for overreacting. The suitcase was half packed when he came home early. Jason's keys hit the foyer table. Going somewhere, Emily? My throat closed. He knew. Later, in the ER with a sprained wrist, I told the nurse I fell down the stairs. My sister kicked open the door at 3 a.m., her dyed red hair wild from the drive. Get your shit, she said, tossing me a burner phone. We're leaving. Behind her stood Mrs. Delaney, Lena from accounting, and a cop named Hernandez, Sarah's college roommate. Jason's scream followed us down the fire escape. You'll never survive without me. The divorce papers came with a restraining order. At the hearing, Jason wept in his tailored suit. I just loved her too much, he told the judge. Nobody clapped when I got full custody of our dog. The biggest red flag wasn't Jason, it was me ignoring my own worth. Now, I run a support group above Lena's sister's bookstore. Mrs. Delaney brings lemon bars. Sarah teaches self-defense in the parking lot. And when new women whisper, but he loves me, I show them the scars under my sleeve. The most dangerous lies aren't the ones we're told, they're the ones we choose to believe.